2,000 points of Adeptus Custodes versus Space Wolves. This is Game 7, the final match between Space Wolves and Custodes. It all comes down to this. Custodes, I'm bringing a battalion. Space Wolves are bringing a battalion. This is our last bump up. Space Wolves won the last game, spoiler. So it's coming down to this here. Let's see if they can keep this going. Custodes, what I've added, my golden girls. What I've added for them is the Contemptor Achilles Dreadnought. He is the one with the Dread Spear. With that Dread Spear, it has a las cannon built into it. He's got a Lastrum gauntlet with bolter. He's a beast. So I've added him into mine, and the Space Wolves have added in the Stormwolf, which is not the gunship, but it's the troop carrying capacity flyer that they have there, bringing in a bunch of heavy bolters and frost cannons and things like that. So our mission is frontline warfare. That is out of the chapter of Prove. That's in a Eternal War mission. And in that mission, 4 objectives are set up on the board. One is in each deployment zone, and the others can be placed, essentially, they're almost center battlefield. The center battlefield objective markers are worth 2 points at the end of the game, and the one in your opponent's deployment zone would be worth 4 points to you, and the one in your deployment zone is worth 1. There's also Line Breaker, First Blood, and Slay the Warlord active in this mission. So I'm going to see how this tiny elite force of Golden Girls can stand up against the continuing tide now of Space Wolves and their Wolfen brethren that are on the board. So I'm very excited to see how these units do. I'm interested to see how adding that Stormwolf with its movement and all the DACA equipped on that is going to hinder maybe my troops with it. So thank you guys for hanging in there with us. All the support, the comments are, there's too much. We are humbled by it. We appreciate you guys. I'm glad you enjoy this, and we're not going to stop. This is the last game of this, but we're going to start another campaign soon after. So as always, enjoy. 2,000 points of Adeptus Custodes. It's a battalion detachment, and leading my army is, you know him, you love him, Shield Captain on a Dawn Eagle jet bike. He has the Auric Aquilus, which is a relic Dawn Eagle jet bike, gives him a 3-up infall. I've burned 2 command points. He has Victor of the Blood Games, which gives him all of those great rerolls. And his Warlord trait is Superior Creation, which gives him a 5-up Feel No Pain equivalent. My next HQ choice is Trajan Valoris. My 3 troops choices are our 3-man Custodian Guard squads, all of them equipped with Guardian Spears. My first Elite's choice is the Alaris Custodians. That's the Terminators there with the Castellan Axes and grenade launchers. And finally, bringing him in on the beta rules is the Contemptor Achilles Dreadnought. I'm very excited to see how he does. He has the Achilles Dread Spear and the Lastrum Stormbolter on his wrist there. The fast attacks choice are my Virtus Praetors, which they're the guys on the jet bikes, all with Hurricane Bolters, and also my Caladius Grav Tank, bringing him in to round out the list. 2,000 points of Space Wolves. We are here.
Finally at the end of it.
And we've got a battalion being ran again, so Nate, take me through it.
Alright, Warlord this time, coming back in it, is Arjak. He has Mark of the Warriorborn. Following him will be the Rune Priest. He has a Frost Sword, and then his 2 psychic powers are Smite and Jaws of the World Wolf. We have 4 elites this time around. We have the Wolfen. There's 5 of them. One has an axe, one has Frost Claws, and the other one has Thunderhammer Storm Shield, and then 2 regular dudes around that out. We have the 3 aggressors, same thing that we ran last time, the Bolt Storm Gauntlets and the grenade launchers up top. We have our lovable, venerable, dread Sven coming in at the 3rd one. He has the Blizzard Shield and the Fenrician Great Axe. And then we have the Wolfguard Terminators for the 4th one. 5-man squad, 2 Thunderhammer Storm Shields, an Assault Cannon. There's 2 Frost Swords in there, and a Power Fist, and then a couple of Storm Bolters round out that. The 3 troops choices are 3 Grey Hunter squads, all 3 of them 5-mans, all 3 of them with a plasma gun in each. We then have, for the fast attack, Thunderwolves, 3 Storm Shields, 2 Frost Swords, and a Frost Axe on the Sergeant. And then the 2 heavy support, 2 heavy support choices. We have the Predator tank in the back with the Predator autocannon, and then 2 las cannon sponsons. Then we have the Long Fangs. It's a 6-man squad this time. No dummy bodies other than the pack leader. We got 3 missile launchers and 2 las cannons. And then that big thing flying over in the corner there is the new addition for this escalation. Is it's actually a Storm Wolf. It's modeled as a Storm Fang, but we weren't about to tear a model apart to
Right.
fit her into the list.
So it's running as a Storm Wolf,
Yep,
which has the higher troop capacity.
correct. It can carry 16 troops. It would normally have the top mount twin-linked Hellfrost cannon. It is kitted with 2 las cannons, and then the side sponsons are actually the heavy bolters. So it's 2 twin-linked heavy bolters.
So 2 las cannons, 2 heavy bolters sponsons, twin-linked heavy bolter sponsons, and then your frost cannon up top, right?
Up top.
And that's 2,000 points of Space Wolves. That is a lot to churn through.
There's a lot of boys.
Looks great.
Can't wait.
And this is the table after deployment. It was hammer and anvil, and I won deployment again.
Sadly.
No, that's fantastic. So with that, I put the Custodes over on this side. But first, we had to place our 2 objective markers. One had to be in your deployment zone, and one had to be essentially center of the board. Yep. So I placed the one in my deployment zone, which is that demon head sitting right here on the Aquila strong point. And then as for my deployment, there's my warlord, my shield captain with his biker bros. I put 3 guys up there because...
They're strategic.
Because I ran out of room in this corner. And I put everybody else here. But in the teleportarium, I ended up burning 3 command points, and I put the Dreadnought and Trajan in the teleportarium. And I also burned 2 command points at the beginning to give him that super special reroll.
How many do you have left?
I've got a command point.
Woo!
Custodes are so command point starved. This is where I placed my second objective. That's pretty much center of the board there out in the open. Over here on the Space Wolf side, we've got the Thunderwolves and the Ruin Priest, the beautiful Storm Wolf, beautiful addition, the Predator tank. Long Fangs are hiding, which is so smart.
Yeah, they don't die that way.
Grey Hunters on this rock to prevent deep strike is my guess. Grey Hunters on this objective there. And Sven is right there. And on the hunt in the teleportarium's everything else. That's the aggressors. Wolfen, Arjak, and your Wolfguard Terminators, and then you've got a 5-man sitting of Grey Hunters in the Storm Wolf, and then you placed your second objective here at the foot of the statue. So that is the table after deploy. Hey, we got a roll for first turn here. I of course still get +1 to mine. Let's see what happens. That's a 1.
I'm gonna go second.
I'm gonna see. Alright, sounds like Custodes are going first.
Yep.
Custodes turn 1 movement, really just a Caladius, and these jet bikes moved. The jet bikes moved just to deny some deep strike back on my end, and the Caladius moved to shoot at that fancy Storm Wolf.
Yeah.
Turn 1, Custodes shooting. I just shot the accelerator cannon up top there into him. Wounded with 3, you made one of your 6-up saves from it, and then I had to roll 2 shots got through. I had to roll D3 for both of those, and I rolled 2 1s.
You rolled skulls.
Yeah, skulls, thanks. So he's only down 2 wounds, so he's down to 12. That could have been a lot better on that Storm Wolf. Space Wolves turn 1 movement. Wow, that's moved. Rune Priest moved. Thunderwolves moved to allow the Predator to bump up to get within some shooting range. Longfangs actually ran.
Yep.
These Grey Hunters stayed put. Sven ran. And the Storm Wolf has punched out center board near the Baneblade. And that is it for movement. You've kept everything else on the hunt and in reserve.
Correct.
Space Wolves turn 1 shooting, way more effective than Custodes. You shot with your Twin Link Las, and I made my invol on these guys, but then you hit with 12 heavy bolter shots. That was fun, and I dropped a wound off of him from that. And then your Predator, who moved up to that barricade, shot in at my Caladius, hitting with 2 of the autocannon shots, and failing to wound with them. And then hitting with both last cannon shots, only getting 1 through on the wound, and dropping 5 wounds off him. I made none of my 6-up feel no pains for him. So he's already down to 9, and he's down to 3. So much more effective than me, sir.
See what happens.
Custodes turn 2 movement. I shifted over my Caladius. I moved them out of the way so I could shift over. I moved him back over here behind that building, and I haven't brought anything in. It was debatable of what to bring in from reserves, but I left it out. Oh, I forgot. I ran guys, and they're in the church hiding. So that 3-man squad went center board there. Yeah, I didn't bring anything in from reserve. I was debating it pretty hard, but what are you gonna do?
Long game.
Custodes turn 2 shooting. Well, the Caladius showed up. He didn't show up turn 1, but he showed up turn 2. He dumped in shots into him. He took off 1 wound with the Lastrum bolt cannon, and then the accelerator cannon sitting up top there took another 6. So he went from 12 down to 5 wounds.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. So that's it. That's all I have for shooting, but I hope that was enough. Space Wolves turn 2 movement. You limped up the Limpy McLimperson Stormwolf.
Tier 2.
He's not really. He's just tier 2. But I still feel good about it. You dumped them out before you moved. You moved him up 12. This dude.
Sven.
Did he stay put? He stayed put.
He was gonna, then he moved back.
Okay.
He said he didn't.
He kind of, yeah, just shifted feet.
Yep.
They stayed put, and the Thunderwolf shifted over, as well as the Rune Priest. Everything else is in reserves, right?
Correct.
Space Wolf turn 2 shooting. Oh, the dice turned on you. The Stormwolf shot in with his Hellfrost, twin Hellfrost, and he shot in with his twin las cannons and his heavy bolters. All of those heavy bolter shots, you only, I think, ended up wounded with 2. And I made my save, or I made 1 save. Actually, 1 got through with that. But then the Hellfrost actually went through, and that ended up taking him down from 9 to 6. So
last cannon's whiffed.
Last cannon's completely whiffed. So I could have exploded if you could have shot.
I even re-rolled one of the last
yes.
And I still whiffed.
Burned a command point. So now you're down to 3 command points at turn 2. The Predator, very similar story. He shot in with the autocannon, putting 3 wounds in, and I made all my armor saves. And then he shot with the las cannons and missed completely. And Longfangs are out of line of sight and also out of range of stuff they can see.
And there's nothing else they can shoot.
And that is really it. So you needed a better. You were close to blowing this guy up. So now it tips into my role as I need to blow him up in return. Turn 3 Custodes movement. Oh boy.
What happened?
I dropped in all of these guys right in your table corner. Now granted, it's not the corner that your objective's in, but it's the corner that you have things in.
Yeah.
And over here, I kept all of these guys put. I kept him there, and I moved them up here to maybe get a charge on the flyer. And that is it for my movement, because I don't have a lot of guys, but they're all shiny. Custodes turn 3 shooting. It's kind of what I needed. Well, these guys, can I just say, shot up at the Stormwolf, rapid firing hurricane bolters first. Wounded with 2.
Yeah, we don't need to say anymore.
36 shots and only wounded with 2. But I made up for it with the Caladius. The Caladius shot up into the Stormwolf and shot him out of the sky. He did not explode.
But it took every single shot you put into him to get those last 5 wounds.
Yes, it did. Moving over here now, since nobody else really shot. Over here, the Alaris Custodians shot with their grenade launchers into them, and nothing happened.
Yep.
Failed to wound. Shot with their axes over here and killed off a Longfinger too. Trajan also shot into the Longfangs and killed off one.
Yep.
And then this guy, I couldn't decide what to do with him. You would say, okay, the Dread Spear has a las cannon built into it.
Yep.
You might as well shoot the tank. But then I got thinking, if I shoot the tank, I don't necessarily take a las cannon out of the game.
Yep.
So I shot the Longfangs and took a las cannon out of the game. And then I shot with his Lastrum Stormbolters, again, into them, because I'm less afraid of their assault and more afraid of las cannons. And took them down to 2 guys there. And that's where we're at. So going into Custodes, turn 3 assault. Well, if this is an 8th edition charges summed up here, I attempted to charge with my Dreadnought, Trajan, and them all into the Thunderwolves. Rolled an 8, rolled a 6, rolled an 8. Yep. So they're sitting there. That's 8th edition right there.
Good talk.
Space Wolves turn 3 movement. Wait, where'd the party go?
I'm leaving the Death Brigade.
You ran the Thunderwolves up here. You moved your Rune Priest over there. You dropped in your aggressors and your Wolfen. Looking at my objective, like that's even the point of the game, Nate.
Maybe.
You brought Arjak in with your Wolfguard Terminators into the center of my Custodes deployment. I don't even know what you're trying to do here.
Stuff. It's a secret.
You moved Sven up. You moved your Grey Hunters over. Did you move him? Yeah, you moved him.
You moved to get a line on your tank.
You moved them out of cover, away from them again, and you moved everything up over here. That was a big movement turn.
There's a lot of movement for turn 3.
Let's see what you can do for shooting. Space Wolves turn 3 shooting. Jeez, Nate.
Game, man.
All I need you to do is roll dice, and then I remove models.
I'm rolling plenty of dice.
Aggressor shot into these guys.
Yeah.
Only took a wound. All of the Wolfguard Terminators shot into this squad. I took 2 wounds.
Mm-hmm. The real moment of the turn. Yeah. The Predator shot into...
The Predator needed to do some work against the Caladius.
Yeah, and he did. And then
No.
but then what happened?
I made my saves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops. Nothing shot those guys. Oh, here's another good one.
Yep, this was exciting.
Grey Hunters even overcharged the plasma,
And
which
both
was...
And both of them shot.
Both shots from the overcharged plasma went into my guys in here. And the best part was you rolled 2 1s to wound.
Yeah.
And then you failed to wound on any of your bolter shots.
But the good news is the plasma didn't blow up.
Yeah, he's still here.
That is...
He's still here to do nothing next turn.
That's cool.
And that's it. Oh, nope. Psychic.
Yep.
Your Rune Priest cast Jaws of the World Wolf
Yep.
on those guys in there and failed to go off, or failed to wound.
Yes.
Right?
Failed to wound.
And then he cast Smite on the closest unit, which was this guy, and he actually took off 2.
Yep.
And that is it.
The only thing we
Ouch.
forgot to do, morale with the Longfangs.
Oh, yep, let's go back to that. Forgot to do morale with the Longfangs after my turn, and guess what? You rolled a 6.
And they died.
And they died. So no more Longfangs on the board. Turn 3, Space Wolves assault, and what an assault.
Heavy lifting done.
They finally showed up and did some work. On Overwatch, you took a wound with the Wolfen from the squad that was here. Then you made your charge with a 9 after you re-rolled it.
Correct.
You made it in, and your Thunderhammer did a lot of work and took him down to a guy.
Yep.
And then I swung back, killed the Thunderhammer, because you put the wounds on him, but then he gets to swing again.
Yep, because of his death, whatever. Thing.
Death Frenzy.
Yeah, Death Frenzy, yep.
And he swung back, killing off the last guy, and they consolidate closer towards my objective. And these guys over here, they get an additional attack because they're within 6 inches of Arjak. They swung in with just the Thunderhammers, mind you.
Yep.
And it was enough to kill off the complete squad of my 3 here. They also failed their Overwatch. So that is it. Space Wolves Assault doing exactly what Space Wolves do. Killed off 6 Custodian Guard.
before you even got to swing.
Yeah, I didn't get to. Well, I swung with one.
Yeah.
Don't discount that.
Well.
Sad day for the Golden Boys. This is this is a foot race at this point. So I have moved my goon squad up on them, and I have shifted over onto Arjac with my Virtus Praetors. My Warlord is moving up on them. He has sat tight, and actually over here mid-board, I punched out of the church. Hiding behind the Baneblade, gonna take on these boys.
Yes, sir.
Custodes turn 4 shooting. I really needed more to happen there. The shield captain shot into them. Didn't do anything.
Nope.
The Lastrum bolt cannon from him, the Caladius shot in, killed a guy off. His Iliastus cannon up top shot in down here.
You put 4 on me.
Put 4 on you with that one.
Yep.
The Dreadnought shot into him as well with everything.
Yep.
I took 3 wounds from that, right?
Yep.
So I took you down from 11 to 4.
Correct.
So that was decent, but these guys, you're kind of outrunning me here.
Trying to.
And couldn't get the grenade launchers off from them because they're out of 12, and I shot up with the axes into them. It was enough to kill off a wolf, but it wasn't enough to... did I put another wound on there as well?
Yeah. You put 2 wounds on this guy.
Yep, so it essentially killed off half the squad of wounds.
Correct.
But wasn't enough. It would have been nicer to get the grenade launchers in there. And over here with these guys, I shot in and just dumped rounds into Arjac, and Arjac made 11 saves.
11 of 14.
And is down to 2 wounds. The shield captain went into the Wolfguard Terminators, only took a wound off,
yep.
But you wounded him back. Used his Warlord trait, got a reroll on his invul save.
Yep.
He just sat here.
He saved everything.
He saved it all. This was huge.
Yep.
The Virtus Praetors made it into Arjac. Arjac failed to overwatch with his hammer, and they killed him off. That was my first assault I did there.
2 wounds left. It took everything. It took honestly down to the last armor save for you to get him.
It did.
Yeah,
it did.
I had to make 11 invols, and I made 10.
That's Slay the Warlord there. The Custodian Guard over here made it in, and they actually killed off another wolf.
Yep.
And
you... the other guy.
Yeah, put a wound on the other, and you swung back, and believe it or not,
Did nothing.
Did nothing. I made my saves. And my Dreadnought attempted to charge, and I failed by an inch.
Correct.
On the Rune Priest. Pretty good assault phase for Custodes there.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens turn 4 Space Wolves. Turn 4 Space Wolves movement. The Wolfen have just snugged up to score this objective right now. Aggressors stayed put because they want to get that double tap.
Yeah.
The Rune Priest has turned around with his Stop in the Name of Love hand.
Tina Turner.
Of course, the Thunderwolf is in close combat. Your
Predator didn't move.
Predator didn't move. And they
just kind of tucked around the corner so that they can't shoot him anymore.
Gotcha.
These guys ran a glorious 2 inches.
Woo!
And these guys that were here are in the church now.
Very good. And Sven
Unfortunately, he's an objective holder this game.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give you a good close combat with him, I've decided.
Is that why there's this big empty bubble around
There
him?
could be a massive empty bubble around him for a reason.
Kind of like that guy over there.
Yeah, weird. Huh. Have we played each other before?
Yes, maybe.
Turn 4 Space Wolf shooting. Ooh, the aggressors showed up finally in Game 7. The aggressors did something.
Yay.
They dumped in all their DACA and actually killed off one of the Virtus Praetors.
No shooting over in the gun-free zone.
No, but the Rune Priest also showed up Game 7.
Yep.
Took off 2 of the Custodian Guard over here with Jaws and Smite.
Put 2 wounds on with Smite, and then with Jaws, I actually put 4 on because I rolled it.
You know, this army, Custodes, is so susceptible to Psychic.
Yeah.
But it's been a very competitive game.
Even with your mortal wounds, feel no pain.
I know, yeah. You know, well, I can't. I've never rolled a 6 in this entire game ever. So, well, that's not true.
You've killed enough of my stuff to roll plenty of 6s.
And but your poor Predator, which did so well in the previous game.
Yeah.
This time shot in at the Caladius, hiding over there, and failed.
Yep, didn't even get anything to wound.
No, nothing to even wound. So that's where we're at. Let's see some assaults here. Space Wolves turn for assault, and the Custodes got the upper hand there. But in this case, the Shield Captain tanked the Thunderhammers, and in turn killed off a Thunderhammer and put a wound on the Assault Cannon.
With the Misericordia specifically.
With the Misericordia, yep. And over here, oh boy, you whiffed, hitting back on my Custodian Guard here.
Yep.
And I made an armor save, but then I swung back. I only hit with 1, but I wounded with 1, and I got D3 wounds on it, and that was enough to kill off the other wolf, so he has moved towards the Rune Priest. That isn't what you needed, Nate.
Nope.
That isn't it. All right, going into turn 5, Custodes. Custodes, turn 5 movement. Well, over here, I left with my Shield Captain out of close combat, and I bumped up over with my last 2 jet bikes, scoring the objective, and gonna be shooting those Wolfen, because that's what you do to Wolfen. Mm-hmm. I moved my last Custodian Guard over to the objective, and looking at this poor Rune Priest, and I ran all of these guys. Well, I didn't run them.
Sorry. You just moved them forward.
I just moved them because they still need to shoot because they haven't done anything this game. You've avoided them. Look at this. It's a big void over here. And I also kept my Caladius Grav Tank still. Turn 5, Custodes shooting. Wow. The Shield Captain and the 2 Virtus Praetors shot into the last of the Wolfen and cleaned them off with their Hurricane Bolters. The Iliastus Cannon and the Lastrum Cannon shot into Sven. Only took 2 wounds off him.
Yep.
And over here, this entire very expensive blob of shininess shot into here, did nothing.
Whole lot of nada.
Wow. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I even with the rerolls from Trajan.
Yeah.
I just couldn't wound you. No. It was horrible.
Lots of 1s and 2s.
But this was unpredictable.
Didn't expect this.
He rapid fired his Guardian Spear into the Rune Priest since he was the closest. Killed him.
Put 4 wounds on him. That's all I got.
That was pretty nice. Going into assault. Turn 5, Custodes assault. It was a big assault.
Yeah.
The Virtus Praetors killed off the last 3 of the Wolf Guard there. They didn't even get to swing back, and they have consolidated towards the closest enemy unit, which is these guys. Over here, wow, the Dreadnought had to make a big charge. He made it by an inch into the tank, and he swung with his Dread Spear, which hits on 2s and wounds on 2s, and is a flat 3 damage.
Yeah.
At a minimum, flat 3 damage, D6 total damage. It didn't even take that. He had 4 wounds left. He did not explode, so I am just sitting there mid-board with him. And that is it for the end of turn 5 for Custodes. Let's see if that was enough.
Be tight.
Here we go. Space Wolves movement, turn 5. Aggressors stayed put to shoot on this lonely Custodian Guard. These guys ran, though, and the front 2 are actually scoring this objective right now. Also, way over here, the Grey Hunters ran a solid 6 up to help Sven score that one. And these guys consolidated back on this to score that. That is it, and it might be all you need.
Just hoping for some good rolls.
Let's see some shooting. Okay, end of turn 5 for Space Wolves shooting.
Yep.
You've got no assaults coming, right?
Correct.
The aggressors dumped 63 shots into this last Custodian Guard.
Yep.
He failed 2 saves. So
notice he's still there.
he's still there. However, you currently still score it because 2 troops choices are within that objective.
Yep.
At the game ends turn 5.
Correct.
But the player who had first turn rolls a die to see if it continues to turn 6.
I'm hoping it doesn't.
But if it does, it's going to be awesome. So here I go.
Yes!
No! All right, let's. Oh,
Game's done.
that's a 1.
You don't have any command points left.
I don't have it. Well, you can't even do it anyway. Re-roll that garbage. All right, here we go. Let's total stuff up. The game ends turn 5. The slow grow campaign, game 7, came down to this. Came down to that stinking die roll.
It's a good day for Space Wolves.
No, I mean, it was a hard-fought one. Comes down to Space Wolves. Space Wolves have this objective back here. That's their own. That is 1 objective. They very much control that. That's 2 objectives, or victory points. They control this one. That's 2 more. They also have a line breaker with these guys.
Barely.
That's 6. Custodes have their own.
Yep.
They have line breaker. And I have Slay the Warlord.
And First Blood from the
Stormwolf. So that is Custodes 4 to the 6 of Space Wolves. Nate.
That was an amazing series.
It really was. Such a fun campaign. Space Wolves won this one. You won the last 2 games here. And I got to tell you what a hard-fought battle here. The Grey Hunter's punching out of the church here at the end.
The doors are even open.
I know. To secure this off of him. Him tanking all of the 63 shots.
Yeah. 29 or 30 got through.
But it not being enough to secure it at the end here. What a fantastic series. Thank you guys all for watching this. I tell you what, we're going to do another one of these.
Yeah.
We'll announce it soon. We're kind of waiting for a codex to be released, but we'll announce it soon. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Nate, thanks for being such a good sport, man.
And to anybody that's looking to do a slow grow, it is fantastic for getting models painted and getting them on the board and having fun.
Yeah. What a fantastic time. I really appreciate it, bud. Thanks a lot.